Trucks form up for the third time. This is the Australian spiritual home of Stadium Super Trucks. They've been to some other pretty cool venues around Australia, but they're back where they made their debut here in 2015.
Well, and now, just so everyone understands, this is completely, if you haven't watched Stadium Super Trucks, this is completely different from anything else you'll see. As you mentioned, Matt, the faster and better you qualify, the more you get punished for doing that. So that means if you qualify number 1, like Matty Brabham did, now you're starting all the way back in the 12th starting position, a full inversion. The only positive to it is that there's points given for every time they're out on the track throughout the weekend, and he who accumulates the most points at the end of the last race, third race of the weekend on Sunday, will be crowned a champion. So Matty Brabham qualified first, gets in the back of the pack, that's where he starts, but he did get 5 points to start off with. That's a huge jump. Top 5 guys in qualifying get points, 5 points for first, 1 point for fifth, and 2, 3, and 4 in the middle there. So those guys, you know, they're getting punished going to the back, but they're getting a jump on their points race here, and that's what it's all about at the end of the weekend. It's fun to win a race or two, but it is amazing to be crowned the champion here in Adelaide at the end of the weekend. 2
Royal Purple Racing Oils entries. There's one of them there. Gav Harliam is in the field, and Jeff Hoffman, the Hoff, is in the house here. They jetted in yesterday from California. A very interesting set of circumstances there. They were missing too much time from school.
Yes.
Remember those days?
Yeah, no, I don't.
Okay.
I don't. That was that long ago where I don't remember those days. But that's exactly it. You know, those 2 guys, they missed the practice session yesterday, so they went. Their practice was part of qualifying, and we're expecting quite a bit out of these young men. They're super talented 2 young drivers, and Harlan and the Hoff, you know, their main deal is on dirt. Asphalt's somewhat new to them. Harlan's been with us before, but they're quick learners. They tested really well in Charlotte. They spent a lot of time with Sheldon Creed, who obviously I think would be a pretty darn good teacher.
Yeah,
in
a few laps.
This particular series. So we're expecting a lot of those as the season rolls on here. And as you mentioned before, a couple new liveries as well for a few drivers. We see what were teammates, Matty Brabham and Sheldon Creed, now completely not on the same team whatsoever.
The Adelaide Casino Stadium Super Trucks getting set for race number 1 here on the streets of Adelaide at the Clipsal 500. Matt Nolte and Sean Sermony with you for this. An inversion from qualifying gives Bill Hines another pole position. He's doing double duties this weekend. Jeff Hoffman will start on the front row. Donsis and Greg Gardner on the next row. And we start to work our way to some of the real good guys towards the back, Sean Sermony.
All the way down the back, no surprise seeing Sheldon Creed and Matty Brabham all the way back in row number 6 in the 11th and 12th spot. So they've got a lot of spots to make up here, but keep in mind, in front of them, they got to get through Robbie Gordon, they got to get through Paul the Dude Morris, Toby Price, and so on and so forth. So yeah, are the, at least for this weekend, the most talented drivers thus far in the back? Yeah, they are. Do they have an ungodly task ahead of them? Absolutely they do. So there's going to be some really hard racing here. Undoubtedly going to be swapping some heavy paint, without a doubt. And but that is Stadium Super Trucks.
Into position, Hoffman left-hand side. Bill Hines, it's his 50th race start in the Stadium Super Trucks today. Jetted in from, yeah, yes, exactly right. He'll start from the front row, looking for a win, hopefully this year. It's been a lot of racing laps over in America before he came across, and having to steer in an Aussie racing car with a guy called Sean Rose in Australia, but double duties for the man from Nazareth in Pennsylvania.
And a new sponsor this year, Florio Milk.
Hey, you've got it.
I got it.
Nailed it.
All night long. I laid in bed going to sleep saying Florio, writing it down, drinking
banged on your wall 3 times to tell you to stop it.
Warm glass of milk and said Florio about 30 times, and off to sleep I went. But that is Bill Hines' new sponsor here in Adelaide, Australia, so very exciting for him, and as you mentioned, and the Aussie racing cars as well. Nobody in this class has as many laps on this track this weekend as Bill Hines.
So here we go, green flag is at the back. Your 2 fast guys behind the first Toyo Tyres ramp. Travis Melbourne is also in the field, replacing Matt Mingay, we'll talk about during that race today. Getting set on the streets of Adelaide for race number 1 of the Adelaide Casino Stadium Super Trucks in 2017. They've always been a hit around here. We're expecting the same in 2017. 4 laps, we'll see a competition caution at the halfway mark. We'll compress the field and we'll let them loose for the second half of this race.
I could just wait. The anticipation is just driving me nuts as these guys get ready, going that first 1, 2, and third turn. They go through that S turn into that hard left-hander and really let her eat up the street into turn 4 right there. We've had talks in the driver's meeting, said, hey guys, race all you want getting in there, but you guys could not take each other out going through these first 2 or 3 turns there. And so far the last couple of years, they've kind of pushed what's okay and what isn't. So I'm curious to see how this is going to go as they get ready to drop the green flag.
Old school kind of start here, no lines. It's all about waving the green flag. And the anticipation builds. That keen photographer's down there waiting to grab the shot, and there it is, and we're underway. And Bill Hines, man oh man, plenty of Flurio milk inside him. He's out of here.
I guess so. Bill Hines checks out, yanks a big start right off the bat behind him. Dantas, one of the World Purple drivers as well. So quick on board. Looks like we're on with Robbie Gordon right now. Behind him, we're looking at Sheldon Creed. Creed, the #1, goes to the outside of the Gordon. Tire smoke off the dude, the Super Cheap Auto 67, smoke firing off those Toyo tires as they make it cleanly through 3 and 4. Now going into 5, everyone nice and clean thus far.
Just see how quick Creed got on the back of Gordon, then on the run up Wakefield Street. That is Matty Brabham behind, new colours. That's Safecraft Industrial Equipment on the side of that truck this year. Down the inside now, side by side with Greg Gardner, putting the elbows up. The South Aussie means business.
Smiley getting in there, running in real deep. Greg Gardner looking very comfortable, very aggressive. Right off the bat, coming off of turn 7, jumping downhill off that Petters ramp. Huge hang time as there's a great shot of Matty Brabham, the 83, running it in deep on Robbie Gordon. Gordon lets him go to the inside. Gordon back to the inside now on him, switching back and forth. Great racing for these 2 superstars.
No one prepared to give an inch, and now he tries the outside move on Travis Milburn, the TRG Transport entry. Creed in front, typical peak hour down here at the roundabout. So sweeping behind the backside of this Adelaide Street Circuit on lap #1.
Here they are now, filing in behind Bill Hines. Meanwhile, Dantas checking out over that Castro edge jump. Dantas looking really good and comfortable. Hines holding down a quality 2nd place. We got Jeff Hoffman right now behind him in 3rd, Gardner in 4th. Smoke coming off the tires from several trucks as they get on the binders as they go into that Toro tire jump.
This has all the ingredients to being one big clearance sale. Down to the center chicane as they come past the main straight here. The South Australia Flycam chases the field at the end of lap #1. I don't recall seeing a race that they're so stacked up like this.
No, this is great. I mean, they are right on top of one another, and I tell you, I couldn't be more impressed right now with the Flurio truck of Bill Hines as Hoffman was told the drivers and everyone to stay out of the marbles. Hoffman turned right through the center realm, never even went right or left, right up the middle. There may be a 10-second penalty assessed that. They were told if you bring out a lot of debris on the track, you might get a stop and go for 10 seconds. It's going to be curious to see here at the end of this lap if Hoffman gets to have to pull over in the penalty box.
Well, the Hoff did like the beach back in the day, didn't he?
The Hoff is huge in Europe, but right now he's here in Adelaide with us, and he may be assessed a penalty that running really hard. His first time out, Jeff Hoffman, in a Stadium Super Truck racing here. So the young man, you can't take much from him right now. He's talented, he's young, and I guarantee he's very excited. So mistakes are going to happen.
So Dantas with a 5-second advantage. It means 0 at this earlier juncture where the competition caution plays a big part. Down Bartels Road, or Brock Straight as it's known as here at this Adelaide Street Circuit, down into treacherous turn 8. Toby Price is in the mix. Paul Morris looking a lot better than what he did yesterday in practice and qualifying.
Looking at right there, we got Davis, Price, and Creed almost going 3 wide. They're trying to outbrake one another. Creed to the inside, can he make it 6? He slows down a little by using Price. Looks like Harlan comes in. He swaps a little paint as well. They all get through somewhat clean. Now we're starting to peel some body panels off of Harlan's World Purple truck. But all of them getting through clean, 3 wide going into that turn.
And that corner down there claimed a few trucks last year. As we watch the field come around the backside, great shot across the ramp. Behind the back of the pits here at Adelaide, here's Hoffman to the top. He's running 2nd, but 6 seconds behind Dantas. It's Morris next. Greg Gardner in the R&J Batteries truck is next. And then the rest of the field start to stack up with Eric Davis, the man from Burbank in California.
Wow, this is wild. Dantas checking out on the pack, looking really good. But you can't take away right now from Morris, and it looks like we got a stop and go from Hoffman. He did get that penalty assessed, so he had to pull up the side. That's a real bummer. What a great race that young man was putting in right there. So we got this rest of the list to go, we got a mandatory competition caution after lap 4, then 3 laps to the end. So he still has an opportunity to run really well here. Now it's time to just back it down and play it smart.
And much different to what we do in Australian motor racing, where the truck would have to come down the lane. They pull into what's a penalty box here. So look at the replay as the McDonald's sheds his skin.
Oh.
And this is more action happening down at the turn 9 hairpin as Creed puts up the elbows, moves. I think that's what it dislodged the hood of the McDonald's entry. And one of the Royal Purple trucks getting right in the mix.
It's like Harlan comes in there, got a little slideways, gets into McDonald's, tried to get through the drive-through there, wasn't able to make it happen.
Send him to the waiting bay, you think?
Absolutely. They're going to run his food out to him in a little bit. So you see him getting a little sideways, but everyone getting through fairly clean. That is Stadium Super Trucks racing. Adelaide Casino, they said, we'd like to see this fun, aggressive racing. So that's exactly what's happening here with some good stuff. As right now, there is Creed behind him, Toby Price, Gardner to the outside, Matty Brabham getting pinball around, not his style. He's going to get upset over that as these guys are moving forward. Meanwhile, still out front, Dantas and now Morris as well starting to check out the rest of the pack. We got a 5-way race for 3rd place right now.
This is cool so far. The air-conditioned modifications to Toby Price's truck. So it's just stretched a little bit here now. Greg Gardner is now Price, misses the ramp at the top there. He did that yesterday in the practice session too. And they will keep an eye on that one.
Well, the thing is, you know, if they miss a ramp for safety, if he had tried to make that, only hit it with 2 wheels, it would have flipped him off into the grass. So he didn't gain any ground. He didn't gain a position. So most likely, race control with USAC and Cams are most likely going to let that slide when it's aired on the side of safety.
Through they go to center chicane, eating the inside of the curve. Gardner and Matty Brabham, who's from the back of the field, finds himself in 6th place now. The man who did a sensational job at the 100th Indianapolis 500 last year for the Pertec Team Murray is now inside the top 6. He picked up a couple of race wins, and who will ever forget that race we saw at the Gold Coast last year in race number 3.
The Gold Coast last year, Toronto last year. I mean, whenever there's an epic battle, Brabham's involved when it's racing to the finish. And we may be seeing that yet this weekend. There is, look at smoke off both the tires. Toby Price coming in too hot, gets off into the grass, mows the lawn for Castrol Edge right there, brings it back in nice and safe. Pretty good decision, though. Otherwise, he would have flipped it over. And we saw that last year with Matt Mingay off that same ramp. So smart decision by Toby Price.
And not much time to make that decision either through that fast sweeper to the top. Meantime, it's clear air for Dantas at the moment. 5 or 6 seconds is the margin right now for the Shannon's Insurance Milwaukee Power Tools entry. He's 2nd and 3rd now, Morris, and the 2-time Stadium Super Trucks champion, Sheldon Creed.
Right now, Morris sitting in 2nd place, looking in his rearview mirror. You don't want Sheldon Creed behind you, especially when we haven't even got to the comp caution yet. There's Eric Davis in the Motul, always evolving truck. He brought it around. Hard to see if that happened on his own or if he had a little bit of help there. But either way, he drops back several positions, but running a great race earlier on as well. There is Morris right now behind him, Sheldon Creed in the Speed Energy Toyo tire truck, number 1. As they head down over the Adelaide Casino ramp into the Toyo tires towards the start-finish line. I would imagine we should be seeing a mandatory competition caution coming out quite soon here and packing the pack back up. I believe that is Harlan right there. You see his Royal Purple hood peeled up a little bit. Harlan learning a lesson that a lot of these drivers that have been in the series for a while is you bump this bumper, you shove that bumper back up. The bumper mounts are made of aluminum. They're made to crush and fall away. So that what happens is that that bumper gets pushed up that you can't see the rest of the race.
So Robbie Gordon has dropped down our time sheets here. This is 2nd and 3rd. Sheldon Creed applying maximum pressure to the Super Cheap Auto entry. Craig Dantas continues to lead here. Back to this great battle between 2nd and 3rd on the streets of Adelaide in race 1 of the Adelaide Casino Stadium Super Trucks. Through turn 8, change of position as we head down to the bottom. So Creed is ahead of Morris and still has some time. We've yet the competition caution to show here. And the hoodless man behind the Hilltop Hoods are actually playing here tonight.
There you go.
Rap band here in Australia. They're just warming up the act here right now. Through the left-hander he goes. Really proud of his efforts considering the injury he has right now.
Absolutely. Like we said yesterday, man, you look up macho in the dictionary, you're going to see a picture of Toby Price. And he's a bad man and running really well. There's a quick glimpse right there of the Safecraft safety equipment vehicle of Matty Brabham. He's making himself his way up through the pack. I'm surprised. We're on lap 5 right now is what we're seeing, 5 of 8, but yet we haven't seen a competition caution. And there it is now. It's out. Came in a little bit late right there, but the competition caution's now out.
So the competition caution is out here, and that's bad news for Craig Dontis. He knew that was coming anyway.
Yeah.
But he will now be the man now chase. Here's the replay of Eric Davis, always evolving and rotating his way around down the bottom here.
Yes, he was coming in a little too hot. Gets on the binders real heavy right there. You see the smoke coming off those Toyo tires. Eric Davis, as we have mentioned in the past, you know, this is his first time in the truck since Townsville of last year. So it's been a long stint since he's been in a Stadium Super Truck here. Excellent driver, and we're going to see him better as the weekend goes on. But right now, for the first race thus far for this year, having a little bit of trouble there, but that's going to come around for him as we see him. There's another angle right there, almost off in the kitty litter as he was yesterday. So I think it's a matter of, hey, he's got to get that particular turn tuned up a little bit, and he's going to have a better result throughout the weekend.
So if you've never seen the Stadium Super Trucks before, this is mandatory. The competition caution comes out to compress the field and give us a second half screamer, if I can use that word. And can Craig Dontis hold on? He does a lot of work behind the scenes here at the Clipsal 500. It's a chance now in front of the home crowd.
I tell you, hold on or not, you can't take anything away from Dontis right now. Well, what an excellent effort he's put in so far. We talked, I mean, he's riding around, he's around in the buggy all day long. He's working on this and doing that. And 1,000 things are happening with this guy all day long, and all of a sudden he straps on the helmet and he becomes a race car driver. So to be able to concentrate, keep that car on rails the way he has, and run up front the whole first half of the race, that's some impressive driving right now, and you can't take that away from him.
So Dontis just cruising down the straight here right now with the field stacking up. Morris behind him. Creed is ahead. Price, Milburn, and Gardner. Travis Milburn, you can see the black TRG transport truck in the middle. A last-minute call-up for the South Australian because Matt Mengay, his plans of coming racing this weekend didn't eventuate in the end. And Trav just walked in and said, well, here we go. And what's going on here? We'll come back to that point in a moment because Creed is cruising.
It looks like Creed right there having some type of issue. Dropping back, Robbie Gordon pulling up next to his teammate. See him looking over at him, but definitely some type of mechanical issue going on right now as we're still under this comp caution.
So coming back to the restart, the field is stacked up once again, and South Australian Craig Dontis is leading in the Shannon's Insurance entry. Looking back at Paul Morris. While that was happening, Creed has dropped towards the back with Robbie Gordon.
I'm wondering, you know, very well, this gave Jason Smith with USAC and the CAMS guys time to look at all the different views. We very well might have got a penalty on Creed. He might have dropped back. Maybe he doesn't have a mechanical issue. Maybe he's getting a penalty and had to move all the way back, and you're not going to get a stop and go on this lap. So maybe he got pushed all the way back. So that's good news for Dontis, Morris, Price, and Brabham, but not for Sheldon Creed right now. As his Speed Energy Toyo Tires truck gets pushed all the way to the back. Meanwhile, Dontis out front, Paul the Dude Morris in P2, Toby Price and Brabham round out the top 4 as they dive hard into turn number 3.
Look at Price attacking the back of the Super Cheap Auto entry. We have the makings here of a new race winner coming through because none of these guys in the top 4 have ever won here. It's always been about Creed at this track in the past couple of years, but Dontis would probably want to tilt the mirror down and not look back right about now.
Absolutely. You don't want to see Paul Morris behind you right there. Paul is a great guy, but he's an aggressive driver, and he will do what he needs to do to put himself, you know, up on top of the box. Right now, sitting in second place, the podium is not good enough for the Super Cheap Auto driver right now. He wants to be on top of that box, and if he has to get aggressive with Dontis, he's going to do that.
Down to turn 8 they come. Price, Brabham, Milburn doing a great job. And there's Harley and shedding his skin now as well. The Royal Purple Racing Oils entry at the back of the field. And now Morris to the inside. He's taking Price with him. Dontis is going to be left open here.
Oh, they both get through clean. Oh, and it looks like right now the dude moving Brabham out of the way. Brabham getting in there. I've been waiting to see Matty Brabham move up here. 2 guys you got to keep an eye on, Brabham and Creed. We just got word from Race Control that Creed did get a penalty assessed for going through the pebbles. so that's why he dropped back. The other guy to keep an eye on is Matty Brabham. We're watching it right now. Brabham moved up into P3 right now from all the way back starting 12th. So a lot of moves, a lot of passes for him thus far. We're on lap 7 of 8. So let's see for him to move up and chase for the lead.
And some passing points, which are vital in the championship. They come on by one more time here on the streets of Adelaide. We start the final lap. Who's going to roll the dice? Who's going to gamble at the Adelaide Casino Stadium Super Trucks here?
Absolutely. You know, I've said it before and I'll say it again. If I was a gambling man, and I am, I got to put my money on Brabham getting really aggressive here. And as a matter, is the dude going to be able to hang on to that? Dantas, he's got a lot of pressure on him right now. Look at that. Dantas got a negative 2-for-1 going back from the lead back into third place right now. Brabham on the outside, still applying some pressure. Dantas to the inside of Brabham. Is he able to make that stick? He's not in the right line right there. Dantas back to P3. Right now, Paul the Dude Morris, he moves up into first place. Brabham in P2, Dantas in P3. Wild race coming down to the finish.
If you remember race 1 last year, Paul Morris almost got the win. It was a truck length at the finish between he and Sheldon Creed. Nothing but clear air ahead, and now we've got a truck on its side in Flinders Street.
It looks like one of the Royal Purple trucks. It is Gavin Harlan, the 55 Royal Purple entry. He is on his side, but he's in there strapped in. Looks like he's all right.
They've red flagged the race.
Red flagged the race. You don't see that very often with a truck. Maybe there's more to it than just that one particular truck. As we see.
Oh, it's Eric Davis side by side. Got his teammate on the way out as well.
Eric Davis got into him right there and hit it pretty hard, but that is a tire wall. I still am surprised to see a red flag. You don't see that, especially on the last lap of an amazing race of Stadium Super Trucks when you have a driver just up on its side right now. So that's an absolute upset for all the fans to have a red flag thrown right there.
I would have thought with that happening past the start-finish line, that would have been okay.
That should have been a caution. But you know what? I'm not in race control, and it's probably a good thing because we'd still be racing right now.
Just lock the door anyway.
Yeah, just lock the door behind me.
That's the incident scene, turn 5. That's Flinders Street here through the staircase section of the Adelaide Street Circuit. And the man from Arizona jumps out of truck 55.
There's a shot of race control as they go into a full course red. So not the escalated finish that we are used to and we're expecting to see here in Stadium Super Trucks. You see Dantas right there giving some of the other drivers a thumbs up. I know Matty Brabham's not going to be happy with that as well, as he was charging hard in the front. Whether or not he had enough to get around Paul Morris, you know, nobody will ever know. But great run from Morris coming up from mid-pack, Brabham coming all the way back from 12th, and Creed going from 11th all the way up into 2nd place, getting a penalty, dropping all the way back to 12th again, and now moved back up into 6th place in a lap and a half. So passing 6 cars in a lap and a half, that's pretty impressive. But now having this red flag thrown instead of just a caution, a local caution in that area, and racing to the checkered is a definite negative. So that's an absolute bummer to the fans out there and to all the drivers.
So Dantas has been declared the winner. We're going back to the last completed lap here. So a breakthrough win. It'll be a bit of an empty win for him, but he'll take it nonetheless. The Shannon's Insurance team. And he's got the win here on the streets of Adelaide. Well done to the South Aussie.